Hi guys, back to Movie Chat More, and if you're here for the very first time, welcome. My name is Richard, and tonight, we're talking about Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Possibly uh, my favorite in the franchise. I mean, yeah, Halloween 78 is my favorite, but Halloween 4, oh, it's easily my favorite sequel. Easily my favorite sequel. Uh, I do want to, before we get into Halloween 4, I do want to draw. I do, I do want to draw attention to the six. You can see it there, hopefully on the live chat. Six thumbs down before the video has even begun. Uh, it made me laugh, and it still makes me laugh now. It's so funny. I got a funny feeling all those six thumbs down came from the same account. I could be wrong, but they all gain. They like I said, if you can see that, I really appreciate that because it gives my channel attention. If they don't understand the algorithms of YouTube and YouTube videos, every single thumbs down is just as good as every single thumbs up, you know? If you don't understand that, then please keep doing. Please, keep doing it. Just keep giving me the thumbs down. It brings me attention. It really does. If you don't get it, you don't get it. You know. But yeah, I really want to stick. I mean, I am going. Like I said in I think last night's video. Was it last night? I did. Yeah, like Halloween 2, and we've done Halloween 78. But I am going to revisit all of these movies, right up until Rob Zombie's Halloween. Maybe Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 as well. And then 2018. And, but I would have to watch Rob Zombie's H2 again to be able to give proper commentary on the movie and answer your guys' questions. Hey, Kyle, love the pick, Kyle. Brilliant pick. H4 is possibly my favorite Halloween film. I think the same. Every now and then, quite often, not just every now and then, quite often, I think Halloween 4 is my favorite Halloween movie. And then I kind of think, oh, it's got to be 78. It's got to be 78. But no, I'm the same, Carl. And thank you so much for joining the chat tonight. I really appreciate it. Um, yeah, sometimes I think the same way. I mean, we got Daniel Harris, we got Eddie Cornell, we got George P. Wilbur as the Shape. There's so much to love. The atmosphere of Halloween 4, it really feels like October. It really feels like Halloween. Even more so, in my humble opinion, than Halloween from 78. It feels more like Halloween. The way uh, Dwight Little directed the movie, the way it was written by Alan B. McElroy. Yeah, they grasped it. They grasped that time of year, not just Halloween, but that time of year, the autumn, the fall, and they ran with it. They perfected it. Can't be roused. Much more of an 80s horror movie vibe compared to H2. Oh, definitely. Definitely. I agree with that, Carl. And that's another reason why I love it so much. Because, I'm a child of the 80s. I was born in 1980. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it is. And we have the love triangle between Rachel and Brady and the sheriff's daughter, Kelly Meeker. That's all very late 80s stuff, you know? So it's yeah, it I love it. It could be my favorite Halloween movie. It could be my favorite Halloween movie of all time. But then I think of the masterpiece that Halloween is, from 78, and I think, well, maybe not. But they're close. They're very, very close. Kyle, to be fair, Halloween 2 was set in 78. Yep. But still came out in 81. Yeah, I mean, what they did, I mean, as you know, Kyle, they upped the ante. I mean, in 81, we already had Friday the 13th. 81, we had Friday the 13th Part 2. Yeah, I'm not sure which one came out first. My guess would be Friday 2. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, they upped the ante with the blood, the guts, and the gore. And so when it comes to Halloween 2, they had to stick with they had to keep up with what Friday the 13th did, and so many other knockoffs of Halloween that were bouncing around at the time. So yeah, but with Halloween 4, by the time it got to 1988, we had like, you know, what was it, three or four Freddy movies. 1988, we had, I think, at least 7 Friday the 13th movies with blood, guts, and gore. So they had to play to the marketplace, and that's what they did with Halloween 4. But they did it. They did it with Halloween 4 with a certain amount of class. I'm not taking anything away from Freddy or Jason, but with Halloween 4, they did it with a certain amount of class that I've always respected. But you're right, yeah. Kyle, would you have taken the same direction with the story if it were up to you? Do you mean Halloween 4? I have to ask that because I don't want to, give you an answer, Kyle, if I'm not answering the right question. So would I have taken the same direction with Halloween 4? Yes. Okay. Uh, that's a great question. Kyle, you are always full of great questions and comments. I love this. Um, yes and no. I think Halloween 4 would have been Halloween 3. I know why they did what they did. John Carpenter and the gang. Halloween 3. Let's turn this into uh, yeah, they went down the anthology route, and it never worked. It didn't work. Halloween 3, despite being a pretty good horror movie in its own right, it's not part of the franchise, and it failed, and it pissed a lot of people off. So I would have made Halloween 4 Halloween 3 and just carried on with Michael Myers. But they wanted to go the anthology route, and it failed terribly. So that's why I say yes and no. Yes, definitely. I mean, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis had no interest in Halloween 4. Uh, so what are we gonna what are we gonna do, guys? Is Donald Pleasant still interested? Thank God he was. And then we bring in Danielle Harris as, you know, Jamie, as Laurie's daughter, and she's been adopted by the Carruthers. So yeah, to make my answer more simple, yes, I would have gone with the same. I would have gone with the same story if circumstances were the same back in 1988, and Jamie Lee Curtis wanted nothing to do with Halloween anymore. Yeah, if I could have done what Alan B. McElroy did, I think in 9 days. I think Alan B. McElroy wrote that script in 9 days. There was an impending writers' strike. So he only had about 9 days to write the entire movie. Wow. You know, hats off to Alan B. McElroy, because he wrote one of the best Halloween movies, not just one of the best Halloween movies, but one of the best slasher movies, one of the best horror movies of the 1980s. 9 days, I think it was, he had to write that script. Hats off to Alan B. McElroy. So yeah, I would have gone, circumstances being the same. I mean, if Jamie Lee Curtis was up for, coming back, then obviously no. I would have brought Jamie Lee Curtis back on board, and we may never had the Rachel and Jamie Lloyd story arc. We may never have had that. But in the same circumstances, yes, definitely. I would have liked to think. I would like to think. I would have gone the same route. I would have gone the same way and created what they did in Halloween 4. Kyle, how do you think Laurie's character would have been utilized if Jamie Lee Curtis agreed to do Halloween 4? Wow, that's another great question. Great question. How do I would say probably a combination of Laurie or Kerry Tate in Halloween H2O and Laurie Strode in Halloween 2018. I think that's what they would have done. She's a little bit beaten down, not to the ridiculous lengths they went to in Halloween 2018. I think they went too far. But I think it would have been a combination of 2018 and Halloween H2O. And I would hope, I should say. I would have hoped that if Laurie and Laurie came back, Jamie Lee Curtis came back for Halloween 4, it would have been more Halloween H2O than Halloween 2018. Because I think it's much more thick. The character of Laurie in Halloween H2O is so much more realistic than what they did with 2018. So yeah, I think that's what they would have done. I hope that's what they would have done. But they might have combined the two. I mean, Halloween 4, Halloween 2 is still canon. Halloween 2, all that stuff that went on in the hospital is still canon. So yeah, I think that's what they would have done. I don't think she would have had any kids. I don't think we would have lost out on Danielle Harris. We would have lost out on Eddie Cornell. But who knows? It could have been. I hate to say this. It could have been a better Halloween movie than Halloween 4 already is. But it's hard to imagine that. It's hard to imagine that when you're a massive fan of Halloween 4, like I am. It's hard to imagine a sequel, especially in the late 80s, being, a sequel that is canon. Halloween 2 is canon with Halloween 4. So it's hard for me to imagine a sequel, even with Jamie Lee Curtis, being better than what Halloween 4 was. Hopefully that answers your question, Kyle. Great question. Kyle, do you think Jamie still would have been a character and Laurie's daughter, or was that character only made solely because of the fact she didn't return? The easy answer to that, in my humble opinion, is no. I don't think we would have had Jamie Lloyd. It would have been Jamie. No, Jamie Lloyd. I mean, what a lot of people, not you, Kyle. I'm not saying you, and those of you watching after the fact, not you guys either, not necessarily. But the thing is, in Halloween 2, the guy was Jimmy Lloyd. The guy, the young guy in the hospital who got very friendly. He obviously had a crush on Laurie, was Jimmy Lloyd. So, it's quite obvious to me that Jamie Lloyd was Jimmy Lloyd's daughter. So when you say, Laurie, I don't think so. Do I think Jamie still would have been a character? No, I don't think Jamie would have been there. I think it would have just been Laurie Strode coping with PTSD, but more the way she did, I hope, the way she did in than 2018. Because in 2018, I think they went way too far. But, Kyle, or was that character only made solely because the fact she didn't return? Simple answer to that one. Was that, the character of Jamie Lloyd there because Curtis said, fuck off? Yes. That's what I think anyway. If Jamie Lee Curtis had agreed to come back in Halloween 4, I don't think we would ever have had Danielle Harris or Eddie Cornell and the Carruthers family. Kyle, is there any chance at all that the original Halloween 4 script included Laurie and Jamie? I don't know of an original script. I only know the one written by Alan B. McElroy. Was there something before that? Maybe Mike and Jay at Wham. Maybe the guys at Wham. It rings a bell. Maybe they did something. Maybe there was a Halloween 4 script before what was actually written. I know there was maybe. I think John Carpenter. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was. Of course it was. I think it was Halloween 4. John Carpenter had this weird idea of Michael Myers is still dead, but the spirit. I'm doing this a lot tonight. Sorry, I apologize. But the spirit of Michael Myers haunts the town of Haddonfield. I think that's Halloween 4. So I think John Carpenter had an idea for Halloween 4, but because of the utter failure that Halloween 3 was, Mustafa Akkad wanted to bring back, and thank God he did. He wanted to bring back Michael Myers and go back to the basics, and that's what they did. But yeah, it was Carpenter who wrote this weird script. I think the guys at Wham talk about it. The original script, the original Halloween 4 script included Laurie and Jamie. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Probably neither. Because what I've heard about what John Carpenter had in mind was Michael Myers. I mean, yeah, eventually Michael Myers would have come back to Haddonfield, but for the better part of that movie, Michael Myers was going to be like a shadow over the town of Haddonfield. I don't like the sound of that. I'm so glad they didn't go that way. Kyle, what about Halloween 4? What about Halloween 4 makes you prefer it over the other films in the franchise? Great question. I think first of all, start easy. Yeah, start easy. The era, the 1988 vibe, made in maybe shot in 87 or late 87. Actually, I think the movie was shot in 88. But anyway, it was released in 1988, and we can feel that. We can feel the 1988, the late 80s horror vibe. So yeah, that's one that makes me prefer Halloween 4 over the other films of the franchise. I love the characters. I love Jamie. I love Rachel. I think George P. Wilbur was a great Shape, a great Michael Myers. I love the whole the autumn, the autumn feel, the fall, the autumn, the fall, same thing of Halloween 4. The soundtrack, even when there isn't music in Halloween 4, we have soundscapes. Soundscapes, yeah? I think that's what they're called. Soundscapes. I love that. And I do like, I must admit, I do like the soap opera kind of elements that were brought into Halloween 4 with the love triangle between Rachel and Brady and Kelly Meeker. So yeah, I mean, yeah. What about Halloween 4 makes you prefer it over the other films of the franchise? And plus, I mean, this is probably, I mean, we didn't know at the time what was going to happen, but when it comes to Halloween 4, there was no curse of form bullshit. Michael Myers was just still the Shape, and Laurie was dead. So he for lack of a better phrase, Michael Myers was intent on going after the next best thing, which was his niece. It's funny though. It I've said this to Cal Mills, who's my nephew. I've said this to him many times, and I think Cal agrees. He's not here tonight, unfortunately, but he will be back in 3 weeks' time. We're hoping to do a video together. But when it comes to shit, I've actually forgot what I was going to say. I'm so sorry. When it comes to what was I going to say? What about Halloween formative? I'm not sure what I was going to say. I'm so sorry, Kyle, guys, watching after the fact. I'm so sorry. I don't. There's something that me and Cal always agree on. I've completely lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. If it comes back to me, I will finish where I began. I can't excuse me. I can't remember what I was going to say. Embarrassing. Sorry, guys. If it comes back to me, I will. Carl P. Rouse, does the part where Michael climbs on the back of the moving pickup truck like a ninja bother you, or do you find it amusing? Oh no, that's what I was going. Before I answer that, while I remember, great question by the way. If I was to watch Halloween 4 now, and we've got this kid who's like 9, 10 years old. This is what I was going to say a second ago, and I think Cal agrees with me on this. If we were to watch it, if I was to watch that now, if that movie was to be made now, I would find it very uncomfortable viewing. But the first time I saw Halloween 4, I was probably 9 or 10 years old, so it didn't bother me. But to watch that movie now, brand new, and we got this cute kid being hunted by her psychotic uncle. No, I would have problems with that now. Maybe because I'm 40 years old. I'm going to be 41 soon. Maybe it's age. I'm not old, but I'm older. Yeah. But I would probably have a problem with that now. I wouldn't want to see it. But because I saw it, like I say, when I was 9, 10 years old, I grew up with that movie. I grew up with Halloween 4. And I think Cal agrees. He would feel the same way. But we know it. And so it doesn't bother me like it would if it was a brand new movie. It would excuse me guys, I'm just checking something. No, we're fine. Yeah. So to answer this one, does the part where Michael climbs Kyle, does the part Michael climbs on the back of the moving pickup truck like a ninja bother you, or do you find it amusing? It doesn't bother me, and I really don't find it amusing. I don't find it scary, but I find it entertaining. I know some people do have a massive problem with that scene, and the way he's throwing the guys off the pickup truck one by one, and Al can't hear what's going on, and then all of a sudden we see Al kind of, he looks back. He finally hears it. He actually hears something going on. No, it doesn't bother me. Never has, never will. I don't find it amusing. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I find it entertaining. Kyle, which do you prefer? Salt Lake City, Haddonfield, Halloween 4, or Pasadena, California, Haddonfield 78? I'm going to have to go with Salt Lake City. I'm going to have to go with Salt Lake City because it you know, the Halloween vibe, the autumn vibe, the fall vibe is much better in Halloween 4 in Salt Lake City than it was in Pasadena, California. So yeah, I would have to say my favorite out of the two is Halloween 4. The way they captured not just, like I say, not just Halloween, but they captured that time of year is something they failed to do in the original 78. Pardon me. Yeah, so Halloween 4. I would say Salt Lake City, Halloween 4. It's so Halloween, you know? I'm not saying they didn't do a great job in 78. They did. They did a great job, but to capture that time of year. But I think they did a better job with Halloween 4. Carl's, the kids making fun. Oh, yeah. The kids making fun of Jamie for being an orphan were awful. Yeah. Um, but it's probably what would happen. You know, if they knew, if this was a real story, if this was real, and they knew Jamie was the niece of Michael Myers, the boogeyman, probably would happen, and she would be bullied the shit out of at school. But yeah, that scene. Jamie's an orphan. Jamie's an orphan. Every day is Halloween at Jamie's house. You know, because her uncle's the boogeyman. Yep, annoying, but it probably would go that way. If it was a real story, and I'm pretty certain. I mean, not to Halloween extent, but stuff like that has probably happened in schools where somebody goes to school innocent, and because of background, because of a family member that has been made uh, infamous by the news, uh, that kid will be bullied because they're related to this infamous character. I'm pretty certain that's probably happened in real life. Not to that extent, maybe, but maybe. Who knows? I mean, Kyle, not a single teen mention in Halloween 4, lol. Kyle, big UFC fight. So I'm Richard. Kyle, don't worry about it. If you're leaving, I was only planning to go an hour tonight anyway. We're 34 minutes in. Normally, I want to go like 90 minutes, but because I'm going to revisit all of these movies again, uh, don't worry about it, guy. If you want to go and watch the UFC, it's fine. But not a single teen mentioned in Halloween 4. LOL. No, I mean, I do feel sorry for the actress who played Tina in Halloween 5. I do feel sorry for her because she was only doing what she was told. Wendy Kaplan, that's it, Wendy Kaplan. She was only doing what she was told, and she gets so much hate uh, from Halloween fans and horror fans, and it's like, she was only doing what she was told. She was acting the way she was told to act. Wendy Kaplan was Tina. Was she annoying? Yes, very. But yeah, that she was directed that way. She was written that way. You know. Kyle's, when will the next stream be? I don't know, Kyle. I really don't. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. But like I say, I'm going to go through all of these movies. The next one, obviously, Halloween 5. Cara, fuck off, Wade. Fuck off. Her dad don't scare me. Careful. That's Sheriff Mika's daughter. Her daddy don't scare me. Fuck off, Wade. Oh, I love that. I love that scene. It's so funny. Yeah, I still haven't seen that, Kyle. Love Sasha Jansen, Brady, from Dazed and Confused. Yeah. I know they did. I know Sasha Jansen and Eddie Cornell did a TV movie together just before Halloween 4. So they knew one another. Not very well, but they knew one another. But Dazed and Confused, I haven't seen. Yeah, the next stream, yeah, like I say, it could be tomorrow, but it could be next week. Uh, Kyle, Eddie Cornell was great in Halloween 4. She was great in Halloween 4. She's my favorite Halloween girl. She's my favorite final Halloween girl. I mean, some people are like, what? 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 It's Laurie. It's Laurie Strode all the way, man. It's Laurie. My favorite is Eddie Cornell as Rachel, and that's another reason. And going back to your question earlier on, Kyle, about what makes Halloween 4 um, my favorite sequel, rather something like that, yeah. Uh, More so than the other sequels is because I absolutely adore Eddie Cornell and the character of Rachel Carruthers. So yeah, Rachel. I mean, what they did to Rachel in Halloween 5, but we'll get to that in the next video, okay? What they did to that in Halloween 4, what they did to Rachel in Halloween 5. Uh, yeah. Kyle, what is your favorite subtle moment from Halloween 4? Well, that's a great question. Again, a great question. That might take some thinking. My favorite subtle moment. So I can't really pick any quote from Sam Loomis because they're not exactly subtle. Subtle. Yeah, I think it's subtle moment. I'm not sure if this will be considered. How do you pronounce that word? Subtle? I think it is. I know what you mean anyway. I know what you mean. One comes to mind, and that's when the deputy is sitting in the rocking chair with the shotgun or the rifle or whatever the fuck it is. He's rocking back and forth. And we see Myers. I mean, this is very like Halloween 1 and 2 kind of direction and cinematography. And when that deputy is in the rocking chair with the gun, he's rocking back and forth, and we see the Myers mask. We see Myers. Pardon me. And then, as soon as the deputy looks around the corner, we don't see the mask anymore. Myers has gone. So yeah, I do love that. I love that scene. If that can be considered subtle, then yeah, it will be that one. Kyle, mine would have to be the quick close-up shot of Loomis's cane before it reveals whose it is. Badass. Let me think. Oh yeah, when he's walking down the corridor. He's walking down the corridor, and yeah, I know it. That's a great call. That's a great. If I had thought of that, I probably would have said that myself. Because the one I said isn't exactly subtle, you know. But yeah, if I had thought of that one, I probably would have said the same one. Yeah. Kyle says, "Yep, you haven't seen his face yet, but you already know who it is." Cool moment. Yeah, that is a great observation. that's a fucking fantastic observation. I would not have thought of that, but now you say it, I I I can't help but to agree. I mean, yeah, I mean, it really is. It really is. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing the word correctly. Subtle, but yeah, I didn't think of that, Kyle. I didn't think of that. But that's a great question. Anybody watching after the fact, if you want to down below in the comment section and answer that question, that is a great question. Kyle said, especially to think of how long it's been since fans seen a new Halloween film since '81. Yeah, I mean, what was it? Yeah, 81. So my math sucks. 7 years? Yeah, 7 years. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 7 years. Yeah, yeah. Halloween 3. I'm not a big fan of the movie, to be honest, but it's okay in its own right. Halloween 3. But yeah, yeah, when he's walking down the corridor, the cane, yeah. One other scene I did think of, apart from when the deputy is in the rocking chair, was when Myers is hiding in the back seat of the cop car. Um, but is that subtle? Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that word right. But I know what you mean by that. But yeah, he's hiding. He's literally laying down in the back seat of the cop car in Halloween 4. They're the two that came to mind. But that is a great one. If I had thought of that myself, I probably would have said it. Okay, we're 45 minutes in. Take it to an hour, depending on who's here and who's not. And like I said, I will be going back when we get to the end of this, which will probably be. I probably have to do Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I despise the movie. I hate it's a piece of shit, but I will have to if I'm gonna do this properly, I'm gonna have to watch that movie again, and then let's have a chat about Rob Zombie's H2, But then when that comes to an end, hopefully we get more subs and we can go back to 1978. Kyle, random off topic. That's okay. Have you seen the 90s Goosebumps series? No. No, I mean, I've heard of Goosebumps. Goosebumps, they had the books as well. I remember seeing them, the Goosebumps books. Yeah, they did, didn't they? There were Goosebumps books and then TV series. But I've never read a book and I've never seen an episode of Goosebumps. When in the 90s and late 80s, early 90s, especially early 90s, I used to love point horror. We had, I don't want to say a publishing house, but because point horror was probably a little bit. Point Horror was probably not a publishing house, but Point Horror did horror stories for younger people. I still have a few upstairs. I still have a few point horror books and novels, and they were intended for people my age, like 11, 12, 13. I still have upstairs one called Beach House. I love that book. I'm, you know what? Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go back and reread that one day. Beach House, a point horror novel, and then we had. I think Point Horror went on to do Point Horror Extreme. So this was aimed more maybe at like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds. I never read any Point Horror Extreme. So I think it was called Extreme. Point Horror Upgrade Extreme, whatever. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. I mean, being a kid and being able to go into your local library and borrow a point horror, novel was so cool at the time. It was so cool, and I don't think point horror. I don't think I mean, they would have the same authors, write different stories for them. I don't think they're going anymore. I think point horror is a thing of the past. But I would love to think that uh, young people and early teenagers, like I was, are going back and reading point horror. You know, if they're a fan of horror, uh, but they have, I don't know, they have strict parents or something, overly strict parents. I would love to think that if they love horror, I would love to think they can go back and because the books are still out there. Beach House was great. I keep meaning to reread it. I haven't read it in like 20 years, but you know, uh, Kyle, gotta love the ending of H4. I do, I do, I love it. I love the ending of Halloween 4, but I will say this. I'm not one of the YouTubers that will say that's where, you know, that's it. I mean, it's over. But I will say if they had have gone that route and the last Halloween movie ever made was Halloween 4 and they ended it with no, no, no. He's crying. You know, Loomis looks like he's actually crying. It's like, I've gone through this shit before. I don't want to go through it again. And he would have blown Jamie away. Yeah, I love the ending. Yeah, I love the ending of Halloween 4. But it wasn't the ending. Halloween 4 was so successful, they did Halloween 5. Now, yeah, Halloween 5 gets a lot of hate. I know that. Um, I don't hate it. I mean, compared to Halloween 4, yes, it is a pile of shit. But if you go back, Kyle, I'm not sure if you have, if you watched my first ever video here at Movie Chat and More, which was 2017, 2018, something like that. It was all about Halloween 5. And is it so bad? Is it really as bad as what some people make it out to be? I don't think it is. But compared to Halloween 4, yeah, compared to Halloween 4, it's not great. But there's so much about Halloween 5 that I like. And I wanted to make a video to begin my channel with Movie Chat and More. I wanted to make a video coming to the rescue of Halloween 5. And I did the same thing. I did the same thing with Jaws 4, Jaws the Revenge, because I really don't think uh, Jaws 4 warrants the hate it gets. Jaws 4, Jaws the Revenge, is a simple popcorn movie. It's not Jaws. It's not a Steven Spielberg masterpiece. It's not Jaws 2. Um, but it is better than Jaws 3, in my opinion. I like Jaws the Revenge. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, actually. Why should I say sorry? I like Jaws 4. And there is a video on my channel. I'm not sure if you've seen it, Kyle. Anybody watching after the fact, if you're interested. Jaws the Revenge. I come to the rescue. Something like that. Just type in, just YouTube Jaws 4 Movie Chat and More, and you'll see it. And I did that video in 2018, I think. I think 2018 I did that video. I like Jaws 4. I don't love it. I kind of like it. It's a popcorn movie. It's just a popcorn movie you watch on Sunday afternoon when there's nothing else to do, you know? But yes, I do love the ending of H4. Stephen Orr, Michael Caine. Yeah, Michael Caine. The thing is with Michael Caine, yes, he made quite a bit of money from that movie. He was building a house at the time, and he took the money he made from Jaws: The Revenge to finish building this house. Uh, but what I'm not saying you, Stephen. I'm not saying you or anybody else who's watching live or after the fact. But some people don't real. There's another reason apart from the do re mi that Michael Caine made from that movie. There's another reason Michael Caine was in that movie, um, because his kids were going to school at the time. He had young kids going to school, and it would be like my dad is a movie star, and all of these kids. Well, I say all. Nuance. All of these kids' friends were like, "I don't know your dad. I never heard of Michael. I never heard of Michael Caine. Your dad's not a movie star." So when the opportunity to make a Jaws movie came Michael Caine's way, he grabbed it with both hands, uh, for the money to finish building his house, but also so the kids his kids went to school with would know, hey, look, you know, he was telling us the truth. He was telling us the truth. His dad really is a movie star, because that's the kind of movie that kids will get. I mean, I remember I was 7 years old when the movie came out. I saw it probably when I was 8. But that's the kind of movie that kids will see. Before that, Michael Caine did very few movies that kids will be interested in. So that's the other reason Michael Caine did Jaws 4, is to settle the arguments going on in class. Like, your dad's not a movie star. I never heard of him. I never seen him. Jaws 4. Stephen, I still have my 3D glasses. Well, that would be Jaws 3, wouldn't it? I did see Jaws 3 in 3D. Uh, I rented it well, I should say my parents rented it for me when I was a kid. And yeah, it came with the 3D glasses, and it looked great at the time. It looked great at the time. I still think Jaws 4 is the better of the two movies. The hatred for Jaws 4, which is why a few years ago I did a video all about Jaws 4 coming to the rescue of Jaws 4. That's why I did it. I don't think it warrants the hate that it gets. I just don't. I don't. Yeah, it's shark follows the Brody family all the way to the Bahamas. It's stupid, but it's entertaining. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a masterpiece, like Jaws was. Stephen Orr, 1D was bad enough. One League was bad enough, but there you go. Are you talking about Jaws 3? I think you're talking about Jaws 3. Anyway, guys, that's it. We are an hour into this Halloween 4 chat. The next one will be Halloween 5, and I will continue down the series. And then we get to the end with Halloween 2018, go all the way back, maybe. Well, no, not maybe, definitely. But there will be videos in between. It's not going to be like Halloween 78, Halloween 81, Halloween 4, and then we go all the way back to the beginning with Halloween 78 again. It's not going to be that way. Not going to be that way. There's going to be videos in between. Because it's fun to talk about other stuff than Halloween all the time. I mean, we're talking about Jaws 4, you know? It's fun, yeah? But thank you guys for joining in live. Thank you guys for all your questions and your comments. And thank you very much for you guys watching after the fact. Comment down below and let me know your thoughts on Halloween 4. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's okay? Let me know. I'll see you all again soon. Thanks again for watching. Take care, stay safe, and cheers, guys.